Jake Paul, maybe?
Easy. Too easy.
It's too easy.
Too easy.
That's right. Gervonta, Tank Davis versus me, baby.
Not over it just because you fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul ain't no type of demon. It's not like he about to go in there with Godzilla. You about to play around for 8 rounds, 2 minutes with a dickhead. You know what I mean? No disrespect, but you know, with somebody that think they know how to fight. This is
The long-awaited fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis has finally been talked about by Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather was direct in his first public comments, which were negative about the fight. He stressed that Tank Davis is a strong opponent in the ring and praised his impressive strength and skill. When talking about Jake Paul, Mayweather raised doubts about Paul's quick rise in the boxing world. This made people wonder if Paul's success is due to his skill or the attention he gets.
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
Mayweather Jr. made it clear in his most recent comments about Jake Paul that the former YouTuber turned boxer can't compete with the best professional fights. Even though Paul is well known and has a following, Mayweather said that Paul's skills are not as good as those of real winners who have worked hard at their craft for years. He went on to say that Davis would only have to fight Jake Paul for money and not out of sense of honor. Mayweather says that such a fight could be bad for Tank's fighting career because losing to Paul would be terrible and losing to Tank would not have much of an effect on his career.
But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there were many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
A lot of people in the boxing world think that the Paul versus Davis demonstration was just a show and not a real fight. British heavyweight Dave Allen said it was all a joke and that both sides were only interested in making money. He also said Davis could knock out Paul. Eddie Hearn, the promoter, agreed with the criticism. He said that Davis might be more interested in money than fame and that he is only half into fighting.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you were saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
At the same time, Dave Allen has said that he doesn't think the planned exhibition match between Paul and Davis is legal. He talks about how much heavier one is than the other and thinks of the fight as more of a show than a real match. Davis is a light heavyweight, and Paul is a heavyweight. Allen thinks that this unfairness makes the sport less legitimate and takes away from important fights. He also talked about Moses Itama's growth and said that Itama needs to fight against more experienced opponents like Dillian White in order to reach the top level. Allen's comments show how much he cares about protecting boxing's honor.
Be happening in an exhibition. Thing with Jake Paul, I think he's a good area title level fighter, and that's a good level. Like, you can be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. But the Mike Tyson fight I didn't like. The Chavez fight just farcical because he's 10, 11 years past his best, up 6 weight divisions. But less of a problem because Chavez wasn't in his 50s. Fighting the MMA guys, again, he's fighting people that don't do the same, that they're not even in the same sport. But while they're a bit older, they're still not in the 50s. So all that stuff, I won't really watch any of it. I think I've watched one fight against Tommy Fury, the only professional boxer in and around his prime years, and he got beat. But I think he's area title level. I think he works really hard. I think he trains hard. And I don't think he's a bad fighter at all. I don't think he's a good fighter, but he's not a bad fighter. His experience, he's not bad at all. But Gervonta Davis is a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is he having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcias and them fighters? Why is he fighting Jake Paul in an exhibition? I get the money's great, but he's in the prime years. This is his best year. This is where he can become. Maybe you don't want to be an all-time great. Maybe you don't want to do all that.
An author who writes about boxing named Keith Iduk was very critical of the story that Davis dodged Jake Paul. It would be wrong to say that Davis was trying to avoid Roach during the Paul fight. The rematch with Roach is not an escape. It is Davis's legitimate and necessary duty. IDK's case stressed that keeping the current agreements in place should be more important than having big crossover fights.
Well, I think as we discuss this, we should use air quotes when we call it a fight, because I don't see how any athletic commission, in this case the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, could sanction this as a legitimate boxing match. I think it has to be treated as entertainment to some degree, because you can't put someone they're 65 pounds apart in weight for the most part now. If you look at the cruiserweight limit and the lightweight limit, even if Jake Paul somehow got down to, let's just say 180, and I'm not sure that he'd be able to do that at this point because he's fought so high in weight. Let's just say he got down to 180. They're still 45 pounds apart in weight, and that's just not safe. So if this were to be treated as some sort of, even though they're calling it an exhibition, a legitimate athletic event, I don't know how you could do that, because it's just not safe for someone that big and someone that small to fight each other. That's why they have weight classes. And I just don't understand. I do understand that Netflix is into tentpole events, and people will watch this because they're into the spectacle of it all, and it will draw eyeballs. But does anything that anyone pitches that people will watch, does that make it a good idea?
Dana White has praised Jake Paul in the past, especially for his work in promoting sports and making contributions to the field. White recognized Paul's efforts to get people interested in battles in 2024 and said that Paul doesn't dislike him and is just trying to get attention. White also said nice things about Logan Paul and called him brilliant for helping to make people more aware of the sport. Even though they didn't agree, White recognized the Paul brothers' impact on combat sports.
Jake said that I snort cocaine, that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me for the next 5 years for cocaine if I can test you randomly for performance-enhancing drugs the next 2 years. And I never got a response on that. But other than when me and Jake Paul have gone back and forth with each other, I've never said anything to defame him. And then when he was talking about his fights being fixed, I don't think that people are actually saying that they're predetermined outcomes, that they're fixing the fights, with predetermined outcomes. They're saying if you're fighting a 60-year-old fucking guy that can barely walk to the fucking ring, right, and almost died 2 months before that, it's almost like a predetermined outcome. That's what they're fucking saying.
Jake Paul is likely to beat Davis in their upcoming practice match, which is set for November 15th, 2025 at Atlanta State Farm Arena. The gap in size and weight between Davis and Paul gives Paul a big physical edge. Davis has a great 3,001 record. Paul is 6 feet 1 inch and weighs about 65 pounds more than Davis, who is 5 feet 5 inches 1/2 inch. Even though Davis is known for being quick and having knockout power, the fact that the fight is a showcase and the weight difference could hurt his performance. Thanks to his confidence and careful method, Paul might be able to use these advantages, which could lead to results he didn't expect.
And this fight has to be the most talked about thing that's going on in sports right now. And this fight has made us all hypocrites, really, and I tell you why. Also, I got to tell you guys who I think will win the fight and why I think Jake Paul wins the fight. I think either Jake Paul wins or it's a draw.
No.
No way.
Nope.
Since it's an exhibition, and we'll talk about that. But you saw at the beginning, this fight is just impactful. And as boxing pugilists, many of us, we hate this shit. But as boxing fans, you want real shit, right? You see Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. But then what you really want is what you're getting out of like Brian Norman Jr. and Devin the American Dream Haney.
Show me, dude. Show me on my bitch thing. 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 Yeah, nigga, I'm right here. I'm right here. Shut up, nigga. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. What the fuck your security at, nigga? I don't need no right here. Yeah, what's up? What's up, nigga? What's up, nigga? You a bitch, nigga. You a bitch. Yeah, all right.
You have Gervonta Tank Davis fanboys. I'm talking about huge fans of Tank. Turning over on him. I saw Tank Davis fans put up pictures of him as a clown and shit. Like, this is crazy. And I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, it has revealed a huge amount of hypocrisy. Because guess what? With everybody talking about this fight, and I see people talking about the fight who doesn't even watch boxing, especially those who don't watch boxing. Let's keep it real. This is a fight for the casuals, okay? But at the same time, with so many people talking about this fight, good or bad, the way the internet just erupted and all the socials just went crazy, this fight is going to be one of the biggest fights in history.
Lamont Roach Jr. has been very critical of Davis for choosing to fight Paul in an exhibition fight instead of their scheduled return. Davis was accused of ignoring Roach and putting money ahead of fair competition. "I'm disappointed," Roach said. After their controversial draw earlier this year, he said, "Everyone in the boxing world was looking forward to seeing them again." Roach also said that he might fight unbeaten WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson if the fight with Davis doesn't work out.
I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate True Boxing Media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won. And, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
There are well-known experts who think the Paul Davis fight is silly and has nothing to do with real fighting. A huge difference in size, nearly 65 pounds and 8 inches. That looks more like a show than a match makes a lot of people laugh. People who are against the fight say it's not real because it's more about money and attention than competition. People have said that it's like professional wrestling, which is more of a show than a fight. Even though everyone is excited, most onlookers are not convinced. They question what the fight adds to boxing and how it hurts the integrity of competition.
Boxing Doctor News. Hold on to your seats, boxing fans. The fight we've all been waiting for is finally happening. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis this November in Atlanta. But here's the twist. There's a massive weight difference. Paul, a cruiserweight, against Davis, who's never even hit 140 pounds. Is this fair? Is it safe? And get this. We don't even know if it's an exhibition or a sanctioned fight yet. But one thing's for sure, there will be a definitive outcome. So, who's got more to lose? The YouTube sensation or the lightweight champ? And what about those Anthony Joshua rumors? Looks like we'll have to wait till 2026 for that showdown. This is boxing's biggest mismatch or the upset of the century in the making. What do you think? Drop your predictions below.
Meeting those requirements, Manny Pacquiao has said that he admires how good Jake Paul is at fighting. A few weeks ago, he talked about Paul's skills on the Ariel Helwani show and said that Paul is skilled. He can be a boxer because he can fight in a real fight. Even though Pacquiao agreed that showcase matches are sometimes good, he stressed that boxing should value competitive fights more than exhibitions. So that people can watch and enjoy, our fights must always be fair. Also, Manny Pacquiao has challenged Gervonta Davis for Paul's WBA cruiserweight title. Pacquiao said he has No problem fighting Davis as long as Davis agrees to put on weight to 145 or 147 pounds. Maintaining his calm and honesty, the famous Filipino boxer stresses that Davis's failure to meet those standards is the only problem.
They keep talking about Gervonta Davis as a possible fight, man. You like that fight because he's little, like he's your size.
I like that. I like that. I mean, I like that, but let's finish first this one because this one is a taller champion like that. So I have a lot of things to do in training camp.
Is there ever any possibility that you would go back in the ring and fight someone like a Tank Davis?
If he wants, then if he come up to 147, then we can fight.
He can't meet you at 140?
145 maybe.
What happens? You have a lot of experience, but he's explosive. What would happen in that fight?
Oh, that's not a problem for me. I'm an experienced fighter, so.
Davis said in December 2024 that he would stop fighting after 2025 because he didn't like the demands of the sport and wanted to stay out of the spotlight. Davis, on the other hand, is now set to meet Paul in an exhibition fight in Georgia on November 14th, 2025. The fight will be shown live on Netflix. People are interested in the big difference in size between the two competitors in this surprise matchup, since Davis is a lightweight and Paul is a heavyweight. Some people have doubts about Davis's commitment to the sport and think the fight may be more about money than memory.
25 is at the next year. I'm out of it.
After our second fight.
You're out of it?
Yeah.
Care to elaborate on that?
Out of the sport.
After our second fight. Nah, no, I'm gonna win, bro.
Nah, I could tell you my fights.
Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down.
Gervonta,
I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Gervonta.
There are signs that this will be Davis's last fight. He seems to have lost interest in fighting. He told the press, "I grabbed money. I'm leaving," which means that money has become more important than tradition or competition. Eddie Hearn, the promoter, agreed and said that Davis might not be fully awake and might be motivated more by money than by love. So this practice match against YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul could be Davis's last paycheck before he quits boxing for good.
Let's get back to it, man. Real Winners TV, like, subscribe. You know my slogan, man. Tank Davis, man, versus Jake Paul, man. What a great fight. What a great Davis and Goliath type of event, you know what I'm saying? Straight for Netflix. It's going to be in Atlanta. It's going to be packed, you know what I'm saying? The State Farm Arena, it's going to be packed. I've been to ATL. It's going to be packed out there. Tank never fight again. He's never fighting none of y'all guys again, man. You know what I mean? Once he get to 30, 40 million, maybe a 50, I mean, if he get 30, 40 million, somewhere around Tyson numbers, it's over. It's over, you know what I'm saying? I'm not coming back to fighting on Lamar Roach again. No, for what? I can't even get to them darkest places to fight this dude. He's boring, he's quiet, he don't say too much to get me going. Shakur Stevenson, the same thing. You used to be my boy. We used to be cool. Now when I got to a certain level, you want to fight, take my belt. There's certain ways you go about that. That's why Tank don't like that nigga, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying? That's why he don't like them niggas, because they always cool. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how it is when you're young and you're cool, you think niggas is your boys, and all of a sudden niggas want to fight you, you feel some type of way, though, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's the business, though, but it's the way I go about these things, you know what I'm saying? But we can fight, get this money, and we both still could be cool, you know what I'm saying? But Tank felt like it was some disrespect there, so you gotta remember, Tank came in the game under Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? He showed him how to pick and choose these fights and how to get this bread, you know what I mean? He just following the Mayweather train. Yeah, he just doing it on a gangster way, you know what I'm saying? And his flaws is Mayweather, but you know what I mean? You know the words I'm looking for, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he following the footsteps of Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Simple. You know what I'm saying? Get that bag. You'll never see Tank fight again. Why else? Why would he fight against? Who could he come back and fight after Jake Paul? Nobody, baby. Like and subscribe, you know my slogan. Let's tune in. Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis. We up next, November 15th. Pow.
Fans and sports experts are calling this fight more of a business show than a fight. Some people find it both annoying and understandable, saying that fans would rather see real foes fight, but this fight would pay well. Others said the match was a distraction that showed how rich people are, how greedy people can be, and even how disgusting. It was pointing out how it would hurt Davis's image. A lot of people agreed that there is something scary about such a strange mismatch, even if it offends conservatives.
Exhibition. Every boxing ring Jake Paul's ever stepped into has been an exhibition, in my opinion. Probably the only one that hasn't is the Tommy Fury fight, which he lost, because that was two guys, similar size, similar experience.
Similar age.
Similar age, who had a white collar style boxing match, a very raw novice boxing match. And I'm not here to dig into Jake Paul's boxing ability. I think for a kid that's got the wealth he has and is training the way he is, he's treating the sport outside the ring. He's treating the sport right. He seems to be putting the work in. I can see improvements when he's in there. He's still an absolute raw novice that would never ever get close to winning a British title, and that probably won't ever change. But he's obviously in love with the sport and the things that he's doing for women's boxing. Oh, got me back.
Does this fight bring attention to the sport, or does it hurt its reputation? Tell us what you think in the comments.